You're entering the Blitz with your host, Matt Maldonado, on Madness4life News.
Took a turn down the side street where the madness disappears. Chaotic pressure builds up in the atmosphere. But after a short while the English becomes numb.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Matt Maldonado, here in FEMA Region 9 Las Vegas, and this is the Blitz on Madness4life News. It is episode number 10, podcast number 39. It is September 10th, one more day until the remembrance of September 11th, the 11th anniversary of that. So now I'm going to be getting into a lot of Judge Report news today. First on the list, Chicago teachers strike updates. Mayor says strike wrong choice for our children. This is a Chicago Tribune article. Mayor Rahm Emanuel sought to frame the teacher strike today as one of that could have been avoided, as he did last night after the Chicago Teachers Union announced the walkout. Manuel criticized the move as a strike of choice, and it's the wrong choice for our children. The mayor made his comments at a church, one of the 59 faith-based organizations that is serving as a safe haven for students. While he praised faith leaders and parents for stepping in to fill the gap, Manuel said the safest place and the high place for children is in the classroom. Actually, that's not really true, but hey, that's okay. The strike, the first in 25 years, already has made national headlines. Manuel said he knows there may be some focus on the national implementations of a teacher's work stop page, but he won't let it distract his attention from the students and striking a deal. I've got enough challenges. I wasn't looking for another challenge, Manuel said. Manuel once again argued that negotiations hedge on two remaining issues: a new teacher evaluation system and principals ability to get rid of teachers. Chicago Teachers Union Chicago Teachers Union officials said there are more remaining issues than that, although they concluded the strike is not primarily about money. The strike on Manuel's watch cuts against the narrative the mayor is trying to craft as a leader who's problem solver moving the city forward. Not necessarily, he's not really a problem solver. But hey, that's okay. Manuel's aggressive posture is in pushing for a longer school day and year, while also cutting the pay raise teachers were supposed to get last year. Galvanished the union, whatever that means, with negotiations being watched carefully on a nation basis. The sort relationship may have lead union leaders to strike as a way to take a stand against Manuel's tactics, sending Manuel into negotiations to broker a last-minute deal wasn't an option because there was so much bad blood between him and Chicago Teachers Union President Kern Lewis, several sources say. Instead, the administration dispatched Bureau of Education President David Volt to set in on talks in the weighing days. Volts helps negotiate teacher contracts in 2003 and 2007, and the union told his hands-on involvement as a sign the district was serious about selling a deal. It's a shame my daughter can't learn. Only a handful of parents showed up at Ale Whitney Elementary School in Little Village to pick up their children this afternoon from a strike coordination program that appeared to be spuriously attended. That's not the word. It's expressly. There we go. I think Maria, who lives across the street from the school, picked up her 11-year-old daughter, Kira, at 12:30 p.m. She said she and her husband are both unemployed during the strike. Maria said it's good she can be with her daughter. I understand both sides. They have their right to strike. She said in Spanish, but it's a shame my daughter couldn't learn. Gonzalez, a 19-year-old who just graduated from high school, picked up her niece and nephew after school. Their mother works full-time. Daniel Gonzalez, Leon, 8, said he was excited that he got 2 hours on computers, but I was freezing, he said, because the air conditioning was on full blast. Continuing here with these articles, FBI's sinister new $1 billion project will track everyone by their face. This is a Gizmodo.com report. How would you feel if the government could easily track your movements by automatically identifying your face on images captured by the ever-growing network of CCTV of cameras in America? The FBI will be able to do just that soon with its $1 billion next generation identification program. The FBI has been pursuing their new people identification project for years now, working with both Lockheed Martin Transportation and Security Solutions and IBM, actually, not MIB, IBM. The Bureau argues that the project goal is to reduce terrorists and criminal activities by improving and expanding biometric identification and criminal history information services through research, evaluation, and implementation of advanced technology. Well, first of all, terrorism is first of all paid for by our own government and trained by the CIA of Al Qaeda. But hey, that's okay. Their terrorist now is a guy with a John Deere hat. But hey, continuing here. That's all good in my book, although I have my doubts about its actual efficacies for new criminals. But while modernizing the networking between local, state, and federal agencies to speed up the identification of criminals through new fingerprint analysts and databases is great, there are other biometric parameters that may be easily abused, chief among them physical identification with the system. The FBI and its contributor contributing no, it's called administrations would be able to apply physical identification to any image source using a much more version of the technology found in Facebook or iPhoto. Right there. Law enforcement agents would be able to quickly go through catalogs of mugshots, images of tattoos, or even street photos in search of specific individuals. And of course, that includes an expensive network of CCTV cameras that dot landscapes and street corners across the country. While America will not become a science fiction Big Brother movie for the time being, you can be sure that this is where we are going. Older video cameras didn't have neither the solution nor the collectivity to work there with a centralized fiscal renegotiation system. Recoordination system, there we go. But this has changed fast. Ultra chips, expensive HD cameras are now being installed everywhere, and very soon the ability of anyone with access to such system to track everyone on the streets will be a reality. And it continues on from there. How ridiculous. Continuing here. FBI rolling out a high-tech Big Brother monitoring system from the PCWorld.com. The FBI's next-generation identification and GI system is raising concerns among some privacy advocates. Thanks to the FBI, the United States government will soon have a nationwide system in place capable of monitoring and identifying persons of interest virtually anywhere. The next generation identification system is designed to aid the FBI in tracking down and capturing criminals. That's a laugh. Fingerprints have been the primary unique identifier for law enforcement agencies of all levels for a century, even with billions of samples on record. New to fingerprints have ever been found to be alike. Fingerprints are just one unique identifier though, and much of the fingerprint data is not merged and easily assembled. NGI will include voice recognition, iris and retina scan data, physical recognition, DNA analysis, and more in an automated system designed to help law enforcement identify and capture suspects more eventually and effectively. Which actually can also help them to just track down anybody and just say, "Hey, you're a right-wing conservative? Oh, you're a truther? Well, you know what? You're getting arrested. Well, what for? I didn't do anything wrong. Doesn't matter. You wear a John Deere hat. That's it." NGI is designed to interrogate with surveillance camera systems across the country. It will be used to automatically scan surveillance videos and compare faces to criminal mugshots to alert authorities when wanted suspects are identified. The FBI database will also have the ability to identify unique scars or tattoos on potential suspects. Isn't that called selective enforcement? Yes, it is. It's illegal. But hey, that's okay. That's against the 4th and 5th Amendment. But doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Actually, it's the 5th and 6th, but that doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. We're going to do it anyway. Because, hey, it's legal and lawful. We're going to do it. Many computers and customers, electric devices rely on biometric features to identify and other users. Some desktop and laptop computers include fingerprint scanners that can be used to place of a password or in conjunction with a password for stronger two-factor authentication. There is some specific Some Apple may include fingerprint security for its iOS devices, and Android mobile devices may have an option to use facial recognition to unlock access, and it continues on from there. Study: majority of file sharers are heavily monitored. This is from the CBSDC, London CBCDC. It's actually CBSDC. A recent study found that those who practically in illegal file sharing are not flying under the radar, but rather are closely monitored within hours of engaging in specific activity. The study conducted at Birmingham University in the UK used software created by computer scientists that emulated the filing sharing program BitTorrent and logged all interaction and connection made to it. The Korea IT Times reported over the course of the 3-year study, researchers reportedly saw monitoring firms tracking activity within 3 hours of a given download. According to the tech website, those conducting the study were surprised at the way in which activity was monitored, and noted in their findings that there was no difference between there was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was no difference between file sharing and non-file sharing. There was frequent users and collation downloaders. You don't have to be a massive downloader. Someone who downloads a single movie will be logged as well. Search leader Dr. Tom Gotha was quoted as saying, if the content was in the top 100, it was monitored within hours. Someone will notice and it will be recorded. One distraction was allegedly made by monitoring firms. However, less popular content was not checked on nearly as frequent as more promote or desirable items. At least 10 different monitoring establishments reportedly logged downloaded content, the Korea IT Times learned. And it continues on from the... Oh, wait, there's one more. Yeah, one more paragraph. I'm sorry. The propose of overseeing such activity was not immediately apparent to researchers. However, many firms are simply sitting on the data, the person noted. Such monitoring is easy to do, and the data is out there, so they think they may as well collect it, as it may be valuable in the future. Investor Visa probe. This is from the daily.com. Immigration program that gives wealthy foreigners and their families a chance at citizenship if they lay down a big cash. Big cash is under scrutiny by Homeland Security and the Security and Exchange Commission, the Daily has learned. The agency are looking into the EB-5 Investor Visa, a program that has generated at least $2.3 billion in financing for hundreds of construction projects nationwide for a ski resort in Vermont, two strip malls in California. Foreigners both in the U.S. and border. Foreigners both in the U.S. and border must generally invest at least $500,000 to receive 2 temporary visas. If the investor creates 10 jobs after 2 years, the investors and their family members can apply for permanent residency and eventually citizenship. If not, they face deportation regardless of the income. There is no guarantee of repayment. Such the program was established 22 years ago. Immigration officials have approved 12,904 investment visas. The investments have created an estimate 46,810 jobs. Developers and immigration attorneys have turned the once absurd EB-5 into a industry such since the recession caused construction financing to dry up drastically, stepping up their reasserting efforts to faraway places, practically China. The number of foreigners applying for the visa since the start of fiscal year 2008 totaled 12,201 compared with 9,475 in the previous 17 years combined. According to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, the visa granting arm of Homeland Security, Jay Peak Resort in Fremont, has used $200 million to transfer itself into a year-round distinction, and the developer of a new basketball arena for the Brooklyn Nets has collected $228 million to replace costly conventional financing, and it just continues on from there. Lookalike sites funnel big money to mystery pack. This is from the nationaljournal.com. Collection due to an editing error, an earlier version of the story. A former White House speechwriter for President George W. Bush thought he had given $250 to Ohio GOP Senate candidate Josh Mondale. He hadn't. Instead, was one of nearly 3,000 donors who stumbled onto a network of lookalike campaign websites that have netted over more than 570,000 this year in what some are calling a political punish scheme. I don't think that's right. Sorry. The websites have the trappings of official campaign pages, smiling candidate photos and videos, issue pages, and a large red donate button at the top. Except that proceeds from the shadow sites go not to the candidates pictured, but to an obscure conservative group ran by an Arizona activist. Such doppelganger sites exist for nearly 3 dozen permitted GOP figures, including presidential nominee Mitt Romney, House Speaker Boehner, House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, and donation magnates such as Representative Michelle Bachmann of Minnesota and Alan West of Florida. Peter Bassi, who specializes in digital GOP fundraising, said the group is exploiting donors. The intent is to trade on someone else's name for your benefit, he said. Republican officials are considered that the group, the Coalition of Americans for Political Equality PAC, is away money from needy GOP candidates while dumping donors. The only thing they are doing is aligning their pockets and funding their own operations. Oh, like Jesse Benton said. Chris Lay, I can't say that name, sorry. A strategist for West, whose campaign lawyers recently filed a complaint against KPAC with the Federal Election Commission. They should get rid of PACs, to tell you the truth, because this is why it causes a problem. Anyway, a critical unanswered question is who, if anyone, is profiting from the enterprise. More than $250,000 of the group's spending, nearly half, has gone to 2 companies with limited paper trials, neither of which has been hired by any other federal campaign in the last 2 years, federal records show. KPAC chairman Jeff Lod, a former county GOP chairman in Arizona, declined an interview about the group. He said in an emailed statement, "Our candidate websites, videos, and get out the vote messages clearly state who we are and our mission. If a donor infertily gives to KPAC and requests a refund, we immediately comply," Lod said. These instances have been few and far between. Excuse me. We are unaware of any issue that remains unresolved. KPAC's model is to buy Google ads about $290,000 worth as of the end of June to promote its network of candidates sites whenever people search for permanent GOP officials. A search for Mitt Romney, for instance, often leads to two sponsored results: Romney's official site and KPAC's Mitt Romney in 2012.com, and it continues on from there. This is a New York Post article. Soft on Wall Street, Dems weak on corporate crime. Among the many falsehoods pushed at last week's Democratic convention is that this is the party of the people, unafraid to hold corporate America responsible for its many ills. Judging by the records of the last two Democratic administrations, just the opposite appears to be true. Certainly, President Obama and to some extent Bill Clinton like to talk a good game in terms of class warfare, but under both men, real corporate crime fighting has been at best a side issue. Despite the immense amounts of white-collar fraud their administrations faced. In fact, nearly neither Obama nor Clinton can hold a candle to the corporate crime fighting record of George W. Bush that supposed lapdogs for large corporate interests. Consider, as we near the 4-year anniversary of the financial crisis, not a single Wall Street fat cat has been charged with violations of securities laws in connection with the 2008 collapse. Then we have the outlandish case of MF Global. The brake rage firm run into the ground nearly a year ago by Obama's pal and campaign cash bondor, John Corzine. It isn't just that the former Goldman Sachs CEO and New Jersey governor took outsized trading risk that destroyed the firm. His firm appears to have misused and lost $1.6 billion. It was actually $3.2 billion, but hey, that's all right. You're just off by about $2 billion in customer funds in the process. Under security laws, those customers' funds were supposed to be kept, yet not a single MF Global employee, much less Corzine, has been charged in the matter by the Obama Justice Department for the Security and Exchange Commission. For obvious reasons, Clinton's put red record on corporate crime went mentioned as he rewrote history during his speech. It wasn't all that got left. It wasn't all that got left out of his tried to make people believe they're doing just fine after 4 years of Obamanomics. His also skipped over the fact that the 90s economy only got stronger after he turned right, but cutting deals with the Republicans to taxes and spending and reform welfare. Simply put, the law enforcement agencies under Clinton turned a blind eye to one of modern history's biggest corporate crimes waves. Forget insider trading, where traders are basically ripping off each other during the Clinton years. Big Wall Street firms came up with new and imaginative ways to screw the average investor who, for the first time, was turning to the stock market to save for retirement. Yet there wasn't much of a peep from Bumba's Justice Department or the corporate watchdogs at his Securities and Exchange Commission. And it continues on from there. This is from Reuters Insight. GM's Volt, the ugly math of low sales, high cost. General Motors Corporation sold a record number of Chevrolet Volt sedans in August, but that probably isn't a good thing for the automaker's bottom line. Nearly 2 years after the introduction of the path-breaking pledge in hybrid, GM is still losing as much as $49,000 on each Volt it builds, according to estimates provided the Reuters by industry analysts and manufacturing experts. GM on Monday issued a statement disputing the estimates. Cheap Volt lease offers might to drive more customers to Chevy. Showrooms this summer may have pushed that loss even higher. There are some Americans paying just $5,050 to drive around for 2 years in a vehicle that cost as much as $89,000 to produce. And while the loss per vehicle will shrink as much as more are built and sold, GM is still years away from making money on the Volt, which will soon face new competitors. There we go, competitors from Ford, Honda, and others. GM's basic problem is that the Volt is over-engineered and overpriced, said Dennis Verage, president of the Michigan-based automotive consulting group. And in a sign that there may be a wider market problem, Nissan, Honda, and Mitsubishi has been struggling to sell their electric and hybrid vehicles, though Toyota's models have been Prius models have been in increasing demand. GM is how to increase sales volume to that it can spread its estimate $1.2 billion. Investment in the Volt over more vehicles while reducing manufacturing and competitive costs, which will be difficult to bring down until sales increase. But the Volt's step 39 $1,995 base price and its complex technology. The car uses expensive lithium batteries, electrics, and an electric motor combined with a gasoline engine have kept many prospective buyers away from Chevy showrooms. And it continues on from there. From the National Review Online, the Democrats' GM fiction. The Democrats have decided to run in 2012 as the bailout party. It is an odd choice. The 2008-2009 bailouts were deeply unpopular among the general public, and now it's actually now popular. It's good. And even their backers were notably conflicted about the being set and the precedent being set. There we go. And the assuring moral hazard. But Democrats have nonetheless made one of the most most episodes in the entire bailout era. Their economic cornerstone, the government takeover of General Motors. The GM bailout has always an odd duck. The troubled asset review relief program, TARP, was created in order to preserve liquidated to the financial markets by heading off the collapse of key financial institutions that had made bad bets on real estate securities. Nothing at all to do with cars, really. GM's financial arm, today known as Ally Financial, was in trouble, but GM's fundamental problem was that its products were not profitable enough to support its workforce expenses. A single factor: the United Auto Workers unions exoneration what's that word? I can't even say exoneration contracts. I can't say that word. Sorry. Contracts with GM prevented the car maker from either reducing its workforce costs or making its products more efficiently, and its held bond management didn't help. Admirers of the GM bailout should bear in mind that it was the Bush administration that first decided to intervene at the firm, offering a bridge loan on the conditions that it drew up a deeply refused business plan. President Obama's unique contribution was effectively to nationalize the company, seeing to it that the federal government violated normal bankruptcy processes and legally proceeded to protect the defective element at the heart of GM's troubles, the financial interests of the UAW. It did this by strong arming GM's bondholders into taking haircuts in order to sweeten the pot for the UAW. The Obama administration also creatively constructed tax law to relieve GM of tens of billions of dollars in obligations at the same time that Barack Obama and Obama and Co. were about these supposed lack of patriotism of firms that used legal means rather than political favoritism to reduce their tax bills. And it continues on from there. Last but not least, the Great Green Car Fleet. The Pentagon is buying Chevrolet Volts to help green up the military while propping up sales of the bailout. Automakers must most politicized car. The Department of Defense began purchasing the struggling luxury electric car, which retails at $40,000 this summer as part of its goal to purchase 1,500 such green vehicles. The Marine Corps Air stations in California purchased its first 2 Volts in July, and 18 more vehicles will come shortly to Joint Base Andrews in Maryland, where Air Force One is based, according to military magazine Stars and Stripes. The Obama administration championed the production of the Volt, along with the president's pledge this year to buy one and drive it myself 5 years from now when I'm not president anymore. The government offers a $7,500 tax break to encourage sales. Such peaks, however, have failed to drive customers to GM car lots. The vehicle has been forced to suspend production twice this year after the Volt failed to gain a foothold in the marketplace. GM is now offering the vehicle for as low as $169 per month, a financing deal that is generally reserved for $15,000 cars, a price so low that GM is reportedly losing nearly $50,000 per car. The struggling automaker will again suspend production later this month after only 2,500 Volts drove off the lots last month. GM has spent $1.2 billion developing the electric car and is still working out kinks, such as the Volt's tendency to electrocute firefighters and first responders to accidents. The Department of Defense has been involved in that process, helping to test the Volt's battery safety and capabilities. There we go. Obama has made the auto bailout a central piece on the campaign trail, despite GM's recent woes. The company's stock has fallen about 40% since it emerged from bankruptcy. GM and its lending arm, Ally Bank, owe $42 billion on their $57 billion bailout. The government still has a stake in GM. The Pentagon's massive car buying scheme is the latest example of government trying to help GM raise its sales volumes. The General Service Administration of Las Vegas fame purchased 100 Volts in 2011 for various agencies. And that is it for the show today. If you want to subscribe to this channel, you can just hit that subscribe button or follow me on the links below. Or you can follow also Close to Modern's Stay on the links below as well. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me and tolerating me today. And showing that I'm just trying to read these articles bit by bit. So see you all tomorrow, and have a good day, and God bless America.